So in the last video I showed you all the new features in Ableton Live 11, and in this and the following videos we will take a look at the new packs that come with Ableton Live 11. In this video we will check out VoiceBox, which is a pack that is all about vocal samples, vocal instruments and vocal effects. I hope you don't fall asleep, because the following part of the video was recorded late at night and I speak like I'm giving a meditation. My name is mattflanc. Let's get started. First off, they sampled a lot of different people to create these different vocal samples. Let's take a listen to some of them. Then there is also some synthetic samples. So as you can hear, there is a bunch of different vocal samples from different people. We have one-shots, we have loops, we have melodies, we have even beatbox samples by Philip, for example. Now let's take a look at the next thing, which is MIDI effect tracks. And I think these are really cool. Let's use a piano to showcase how they sound and work. So the reason I'm using this on a piano is because that way I can really show you what these MIDI effect tracks do. If I were to do it on a vocal, I would have to put that vocal in a sampler first, so that is why. Let's take a listen at the first one. And I really think this is a nice one, especially if you're maybe not that into music theory. You can use this one to play all kinds of different scales. So if I use my MIDI keyboard to go up and down a scale, you can hear it now play the major scale because I've selected major. But if I select minor, it now played C minor, even though on my MIDI keyboard I pressed the notes of C major. So when I set this to E, for example, I will now be able to only play notes from the E minor scale. Or if I then select Mixolydian, I will now only be able to play notes from the E Mixolydian scale. I think this is a nice feature if you don't know too much about scales, but you still want to use a different scale for your song to make it more interesting. Let's take a look at the next one. So this one allows you to have some random notes, but you can shift them into chords. Let's just take a listen. You can see I play the same 3 notes every time, but I hear something different every time. You can also turn on note echo. The next one is VoiceBox random notes, but this time in key. So now it has a scale and a key that you can select the notes. So it's basically this one and then this one right behind it. Then we have one note twist. Let's enable this one. So we have all these different macro variations here. So if you want to know what is going on, you can press this button and then you can see all the effects that are in this effect rack. I kinda like the instant jazz one. Obviously it doesn't sound like a real person playing jazz, but that is not the point of this effect. Let's take a look at the next one, which is chasing arps. All I'm doing now is holding one note, and this is kind of an arpeggiator, but you can adjust the note length of note 1. And then the rate of the arpeggiators. The next one is basic phrases. So you can see if I play a note, it will basically play some notes behind it. Let's change the root note. We can change it between minor and major. We can adjust the pattern. And we can add some random notes. The next and last effect is arps and harmonies. All I'm doing is holding one note, as you can see. So alright, on to the next thing in this pack, which is the instruments. And basically these are some very complex drum racks with vocal samples. This is kind of R2D2 2.0. Alright, let's take a look at an effect from the Transformed Voices pack. And again, if you want to see more about these effects or how exactly they work, you can simply open up the entire chain and see what kind of instruments and effects are going on behind the scenes, which is really nice. So then we have the harmonic vocal racks, and in here we have some sliced vocal phrases, complex vocal racks and basic vocal racks. Let's take a listen to every single one of them. Now let's take a listen to one from the complex vocal racks. Alright, now let's take a listen to the basic vocal packs. These are, as the name implies, gonna be really basic. As you can hear, if I play different keys on my MIDI keyboard, there's just basically different samples triggering without too many effects on them. Then we have the chromatic voices, which also has complexer voices, choral voices and basic voices. Let's take a listen to one preset of each one of them. Basically what the chromatic voices mean is these are vocal samples that you can play on every single note of your keyboard. For the harmonic vocal racks and the transformed voices, these were basically pre-recorded samples that were mapped to one of your keys. These are more samples that are pitched to your keys. And there are some cool effects going on as well. Let's take a look at the choral voices. Alright, now it's time for the basic voices. Let's take a random preset. And almost all of these, or I think all of these, are also pressure sensitive or velocity sensitive, so that's a nice feature. So that is it for the different instruments. Then we have two more things left, which is the clips and the audio effect racks. But there is also a demo set that you can load, and that is if you're just getting to know this pack, you can open the demo set and kind of see what's possible with this pack. Now let's go to the clips and take a random run from this. As you can see, this is not an instrument, this is an Ableton Live clip. Let's play it. You can see if I loaded it, it just loaded in a clip and it has these preset MIDI notes with velocity values. Let's take a look at some of the audio effect racks. On here we have the creative vocal effect racks and the basic vocal effect racks. What these are is they are just effect chains that you can put on your vocals, and these have the nice macro variations again to adjust your sound really quickly. If you don't know what macro variations are, I have a very simple and quick video about that on my channel, which is linked up here. So I'm not going to use my own vocals to showcase these vocal effect racks. I might do that in the future if you want it, but for now I'm just going to showcase it on this vocal sample by Mike. Let's turn it on. As you can hear, these are really creative, as the name implies. Let's choose a different one. These are more like vocal modulation racks instead of vocal chains, so you can definitely get really creative with this. Right, then for some basic ones, because we can't forget about the basic stuff. These are more like the vocal chains that you would use on a vocal in a pop song, or on a vocal where you still want the lyrics to be understandable. Okay, so that is it for the voice box pack, which I think is a really nice pack. In my next videos I will be checking out the other packs as well, for example Pitch Loop 89, Inspired by Nature, and some of the other ones. This pack is definitely really nice if you're looking to use some nice vocal samples and take those to the next level by doing some modulation to it, and the presets that are built in make it really easy to do so. So if you're interested in seeing more about these packs or more about Ableton Live 11, you can subscribe to my channel. I make videos about free plugins, tutorials, making music, and more. So if you like this video, leave a like to support me. Thank you guys for watching. My name is mattflanc. Peace out.